Welcome to Ninerology, Faithful in the Trenches. I'm your host, Alan, and we're here to talk about the 2024-25 schedule that was just released by the NFL to all 32 teams. And what do we think about the Niners' chances against the teams that they're playing when they're playing them? Now, the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl last year, won their division. And so, what does that mean? When you win your division, you play the top seeds from last year's division, and you travel more, you get more primetime games, all of those things. Now, the 49ers already had the fourth oldest roster in the NFL last year. They had some key losses, but also a couple of additions. Now, for losses, they lost Eric Armstead to Sean Gibson. He's gone. Hufanga is coming back from injury. Dre Greenlaw is not going to start off. He's going to start off on the PUP list. Now, some of the things that are coming back, you have your entire offensive line it's going to be back for a second year. Are they going to get better? Or are they going to stay the same? I think a lot is riding on the maturation and growth of Brock Purdy. Now, again, he has still only had 1.5 years as the quarterback. So this is his second true year as the full-time starter. And so I'd be curious, how is this going to happen? How is he going to do with the first full offseason without worrying about trying to make the team or his elbow injury and rehabbing? How is that going to help for the team? I think for a lot of people, they think this is the last year for the 49ers window. You got Deebo Samuel, who wasn't restructured, which typically means that he's in a contract year. Either the 49ers will extend him this next year or he'll be traded. And so, which more than likely be traded, especially if they're paying Brandon Ayuk and are going to have to pay Brock Purdy. Trent Williams isn't getting any younger. I think Fred Warner's not getting any younger. Nick Bosa's salary cap hits are going to start hitting big time next year. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces here. And so this is the last chance. A lot of people think the last window for the 49ers. They'll still be competitive, still be good. But as far as having the stacked roster that they have, this could be their last best shot at a Super Bowl with this specific team. So we're going to break down those teams, who they're playing. And they start off on Monday Night Football, the first Monday Night Football game for the NFL, and they play the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh. Now, I have this slated as a win. I think it's going to be a lot closer. While Aaron Rodgers hasn't played any meaningful football in quite a while, and last year he played 4 snaps, and then his Achilles went out. So while I think it's still Aaron Rodgers, you got to be careful. I think he's going to be very rusty. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure. I know Robert Saleh is he's coaching for his life. A lot of people think he's already on the hot seat, but he does know the 49ers, and he knows Kyle Shanahan. He knows what the 49ers bread and butter is, but he also knows the 49ers weakness. So I think it's going to be a close game, but I believe the 49ers are going to squeeze this one out at home. Then you got week 2 against the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy and McDonald. Now, good thing for the 49ers, while it is in Minnesota, the last time they played Minnesota, they lost. I do think they have the edge here. There's no more Kirk Cousins there. They're playing against a rookie J.J. McCarthy who could end up being very good, but he's going to be a rookie. This is going to be his second game, potentially, as the starter. And even though the 49ers do need to travel, I fully expect them to win and dominate that rookie quarterback. Then you have the Rams. They'll be playing at the Rams September 22nd. I actually have this slated as a loss. The Rams are a very good football team. Last year they were injured. There's definitely some rebuilding to do. They lost Aaron Donald to retirement, but they still have Cooper Kupp. They have Puka Nacua. They have Matthew Stafford. They have a lot of great pieces. Their defense is getting better. And so I have the Rams slated to win this one in a nail biter, but I do think the Rams do pull this off. I think the Rams and the 49ers are going to split the series this year. I also see the 49ers and the Seahawks splitting the series as well. The next one we have against the Patriots. The Patriots who drafted Drake May, but also brought back Jacoby Brissett. I have this as a win for the 49ers against the Patriots. And then they go to the Cardinals and play Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. And I see this as another win for the 49ers. I honestly see the 49ers sweeping the Cardinals, unless, of course, they get the number 1 seed going into Week 18, in which they might rest their starters. And then next, after the Cardinals, they play the Seahawks. And it is in Seattle. It is a primetime game, Thursday night, October 10th. I have them losing this game. It's on 4 days of rest. Yes, it's on primetime. It's against Seattle in Seattle. I see Seattle winning this one in another close one. And it's going to be a tough one. The Seahawks are getting better. New coach, new identity around, and I think that this one's going to be close, but the 49ers are going to end up losing this one. I actually have them losing back-to-back games against Seattle and then against the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs are at home, or the 49ers are at home against the Chiefs. I have the 49ers losing this one, but getting revenge later on. And so, yes, I have the 49ers losing back-to-back games, both against the Seahawks and the Chiefs, and then coming back to win. They play Dallas in another primetime game. That's Sunday night before their bye. I have the 49ers beating the Cowboys, laying the smackdown before going into the bye. After that, they go and travel to the Bucs, Tampa, to play Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. I think the Buccaneers have a good defense. And so I think this one could be close too, but the 49ers own Baker Mayfield. So I see the 49ers pulling this one off. Then you go another home game against Seattle. Now they do travel back, but they are coming. This will be their second week off the bye, so I still think they'll be rested enough to be able to handle Seattle. So I see them beating Seattle and Geno Smith in this one. Then they play the Packers. This one can go either way. But the thing that has me, because it is in Green Bay, it's going to be at 3:25, so 1:25 game Pacific, so it's going to be on Fox, so it's not going to be a morning game. But the thing that has me picking the 49ers over the Packers are a great team, very young, they're only getting better. The thing that has me questioning this is Jordan Love. If you go back to his last play of the year, first down, just the erratic throw, the poor decision making, this almost tells me he is probably going to have great numbers throughout the year. But when it comes to crunch time, he's going to be the one that folds. And that has me picking the 49ers just because Jordan Love seems to have all the intangibles, but I don't know if the decision making or maturation is there to make the right decisions at the right time. So we'll see, but I have the 49ers beating the Packers. Next, I have the Bills beating the 49ers in the next primetime game. That's Sunday night on December 1st. And then the Rams. The 49ers then leave Buffalo to come back home to play the Rams. I have the 49ers beating the Rams. Again, that's a split series, I think. I think the Rams win the one at home. 49ers win that one at home. Then the 49ers travel again to Miami to play the Dolphins. Now, I think the 49ers are going to spank the Dolphins. The Dolphins are cutesy good. And I think the 49ers will end up punching them in the mouth. I do think Tyreek is still going to have a game. But I don't think Tua can handle the pass rush. And I think ultimately the 49ers are going to lay the smackdown and win by at least 3 touchdowns. Then they're going to play the Lions at home. This is the last primetime game. This is on Monday Night Football. And honestly, I think the Lions are wannabe 49ers. They want to be tough like the 49ers. They want to be also finesse. And I don't think they have an identity. And I see the 49ers spanking the Lions in the second time around. I think they're not going to take them lightly. I think they're going to get the job done against the Lions. And the Lions, I think, were a great Cinderella story last year. But people aren't going to be surprised by them anymore. And there's a lot of things that I think people are going to catch on to. While Jared Goff has a phenomenal offensive line, everything has to go right for you in order to continue to make it deep into the playoffs. Injuries, you have to have some luck. And then things just need to fall in line. And I don't see that for the Lions this year. And so I see the 49ers spanking the Lions on national television on Monday Night Football. And then close out the year against the Cardinals. I see this as a win, barring that they bench all of the starters for some rest, for additional rest. And with that, I have the 49ers going 13-4. But I did make room, a buffer for one loss that I'm not accounting for, which I could see potentially going to the Packers or potentially to the Lions. And so I have one buffer. So my end goal is 12-5, but I have slated 13-4. So 12-5 is what I have the 49ers at. I have them getting the number 1 seed again, making it to the Super Bowl to play Patrick Mahomes again in round 3. And this time I have Kyle Shanahan coming out on top, finally getting over the hump of Andy Reid and getting the 6th Lombardi Trophy for the 49ers and his first as a head coach. And that's our instant reaction to the 24-25 schedule that was just released.